Let's get it going. Welcome, 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 everybody. It is that time. It is 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. West Coast, 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, October 16th, 2025, and it is time for the breakthroughs. And we are so glad to have you with us. We're going to get started here in just a quick minute. Just a couple of announcements before we do get started. We've noticed that there are a couple of people who come into our school group and community that are spamming people in our community. Please let us know that who they are so that we can handle this and take care of them for you. Get them out of our group. They're not supposed to be here. And similar to what we've done with the Telegram group and the Facebook group. So just let myself, Robert, or Matt know who these individuals are with their name. And also, if you can, the documentation that goes with it, like a screenshot of what it is they're saying to you, especially when it's a private chat, because that's what they mostly are. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. Secondly, as we continue with breakthroughs, and if we have time, I'm sure Robert will share with us his thoughts in the beginning. But the idea of breakthroughs is that we chat with each other and help us get through breakthroughs. So if you want to join the conversation live online here, go ahead and put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see my face. On the bottom, you'll see a bunch of buttons. One of them is raise hand. Click on that button, and then we will call on you in the order in which we receive you. Or if you don't want to do that, you just want to pose your question in the chat, that's okay. We will ask it on your behalf. So there are the rules for breakthroughs. And now, let's get her done Thursday night style here on Unlimited Wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mr. Robert Hollis.
Thank you, Craig. You always make me feel so great. I thank you for doing that. All the time when you guys hear Craig do that, I always go, yeah, I hope that each and every one of you one day has someone introduce you as well as Craig introduces me. So it very, very humbles me. And so, hi, Deborah, and hi, Faith. I think I didn't get a chance to say hi to you guys. But each and every one of you that are on here, I love doing breakthroughs. Breakthroughs are just really, really cool because a lot of people, I want to express the breakthrough is just, a lot of times people not figuring out why they can't do what they want to do, right? And so it's like there's something that's holding them back or, whatever. And so we're definitely here to do that. And, normally I have, something that I share with you guys at the beginning, but tonight I'll be brutally honest, like I always am. I just say I'll keep saying I'm just working on being more authentic. There was just a lot of things that I was doing today, and then my wife looked at me exactly 3 minutes ago and says, "You are doing the call tonight." And I was like, "Yeah." So I normally have a little bit on my mind, as I prepare for this, but I don't have a. Usually, I like to share with you guys if there's no one that's doing any breakthroughs of some of the breakthroughs that I've gone through. But as we're talking, if someone doesn't have any something, I'll tell you what. I'll just right now surrender all and ask for the words to say to those that have ears to hear. And I'm sure there's plenty of faults where I can find one. where I thought something and it wasn't that way. And so I did find out one thing. I seen on a bunch of programs that they talk about the little slang that kids use. And yeah, it's like 6'7", 6'7". I couldn't remember what it was. Matt's not on here, but I was trying to ask my son, and they remembered. But when my sons were really, really young, Matt figured out that there was something that he would say to me that would just irritate me, and I didn't know why he was saying it. But I guess in some kind of America like cartoon characters show, there was a thing where the guy would constantly be going, Matt Damon. Matt Damon. And I think you guys know the show, but it's like it was sort of like The Simpsons or whatever. And he would say this all the time because I guess kids back in those days would just say Matt Damon. And I was going like, why are you saying that? You know what I mean? And of course he thought it was funny. And of course it was irritating to me because I had no clue what the hell is going on. But I guess that would be a breakthrough is like, how many of you were told this statement? If you just ignore it, they'd stop picking on you. You know what I mean? Boy, that's where did that come from? So does anybody want to talk about something that I could help you through as far as a breakthrough? And if not, if people have anything that they want to, one of the things that we haven't done on breakthroughs that we could do too is what's something that you were having a difficulty with or a struggle with that you were able to change and make it different. Because I know there's a lot of you that have been around me for a long, long time. And so, Deborah, I haven't got a chance to post it yet, but Deborah said something really, really nice to my wife, and I haven't been able to post that yet. But if I've helped you with things already, and you don't have a breakthrough, I think that would be awesome to be able to share with people. Hi, Kev. Nice to see you on here.
Hey,
Um,
Robert, just to let you know, I looked up the phrase 6-7 that you were talking about,
right.
and it says it's a viral slang term that is often nonsensical and does not have a single definitive meaning. Its meaning can vary depending on the
Yeah.
context, but it is frequently used in humorously and can refer to as so-so.
Yeah, it's like when the kids used to say whatever, whatever,
Yes, six,
whatever,
seven.
you know. But as we all know, if people do something or say something that irritates people and they make a big deal out of it, then that's when they usually know I got ya. You know what I mean? It's like I'm really really bringing it to you. So again, anybody have anything that they would like to say or comment, or is everybody pretty quiet tonight?
Mary's hand just went
Thank
up.
you, Mary.
All right, give me a quick second, Mary. Let me bring you on board. There you are. And go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share.
Hello. So I just a quick comment.
Sure.
Something obviously that you always help me with. But going through just things over the past 10 days or so, and I realize now, looking back, I didn't do my morning rituals. So I didn't plug in every morning. I didn't do the things I normally do, connect, do my prayers, do my readings, do my meditation. And so one day happened, another day happened, and then, just different things happened. I never did that. And I noticed my mood got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse. And then I was obviously talking to you, and I plugged back in the very next day after talking to you, and it's like immediately the mood changed immediately. And so anybody out there that is struggling at all, just make sure that you plug in. I mean, whatever it is that you do, whatever your higher being or whatever you believe in, that you connect with that you take time for you, your meditation, your quiet time, things that are going to uplift you, to put you in that good mood. So yeah, that's just, it's tough when you don't realize when it's happening. And there's videos that you shared with me over the
Sure.
past couple of days that are like, wow. But when you don't realize what's happening to you're thinking horrible thoughts, which
Yeah.
makes more horrible thoughts, which makes more horrible thoughts. And you don't realize it until after. And then you realize, no, you idiot, you did plug in for 7 days in a row, 8 days in a row. And so, yeah.
Well,
So
thank you, Mary. I always
I
tell people, give yourself a little bit of grace, give yourself a little bit, because a a lot of us don't even realize that, we're running on automatic, we're running on autopilot. And we've done that for years, 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 years. And so now all of a sudden to plug something in that makes us feel different, that gives us more of a great day. It's just amazing. I seen something just as a quick thing on the news tonight, but they were saying some high schools are canceling, the student dances. You know what I mean? Like the prom and stuff, it's usually around the end of football season, but wow. And they were just saying that a lot of them felt like they didn't want to deal with the anxiety and they were having social issues. And so
Wow.
a lack of people participating. And it was like, man, homecoming. Thank you, Sandy. And man, I'm so glad that I wasn't one of those people. But I wanted to be around a group of people that were doing it. I didn't feel comfortable doing it, but I'm sure glad that I did. I never forget, man, the first time that I went to a dance, and there was a couple of very, very brave girls that asked me to dance, and I don't think I would have ever danced. I wasn't going to ask anybody. I was one of those kids. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But thank you, Mary. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Just wanted to share.
Thank you. You're awesome.
You're awesome.
Mary, thank you so much. And we have a few more people. So we
Great, great,
have
great.
Jody Falcon is, I'm going to call it on deck. But first, Lisa Marie. She got her hand in there pretty quick. So, Lisa Marie, go right ahead, open up, and please share.
Hey, good.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm okay.
Just
I,
okay.
I really, I'm blessed, highly favored, deeply loved. Thank you. Um, I really didn't want to do this in public.
Would you rather do it in private? Because if you want to do it in private, we'll just kick everybody off, and you and I could just stay on. No, I'm kidding. Hey, see how fast I can get you to laugh?
I shouldn't let this upset me this much, but Fred gave the chickens away.
You had to give your chickens away?
Yeah,
Uh, that sucks big time.
it does.
I'm sorry. I know I had
Uh,
nothing to do with it, but I'm sorry that happened to you.
yeah, it's devastating for both of us.
Yeah.
We grew pretty attached to them.
Why did you have to get rid of them?
Well, we weren't expecting what we needed to do for the upcoming winter. I mean, it gets pretty darn cold here,
Right.
and the amount of work that we would have had to do to, they would have been fine in a 0 to 30 degree temperature, but it,
Yeah.
Fred didn't feel right at all with that. He wanted them warm, and it was just going to take too much. And a good friend of ours lost a bunch of chickens, and they're not as well off. I mean, they
Right.
and so we gave them to him.
I'm sure sorry. I'm sure sorry that happened. It's when we find out stuff like that, it's like it catches us sort of sideways. Sure that's something that you wish you would have known when you first purchased them and got to be close to them and stuff. And but yeah, it's maybe you can get some kind of times where you can go over and visit them.
We could do that, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like Melody says, I need a guinea pig or something now. I need something. I need something. But anyway,
I'm
so
glad. I'm glad
I've
that you
been
said that. I'm glad that you said that in public because I know there's going to be a bunch of people now reaching out to you.
well, it's like, okay, what direction do I go now? You know,
Right. Well, that instead of asking yourself, get plugged in and ask God. And then she froze. That was, oh, did you hear that, Lisa Marie?
you skipped around. I didn't hear everything.
No, I said, stop asking yourself and ask God. Just say, hey, you know I'm hurting. You know everything about me. So if this door closes, please open another door for me.
Right. And
I'm ready. I here I am. Here I am. Use me. Tell me where I'm going. Tell me what I'm doing. And I agree that you'll get the answer right away.
thanks, Robert.
You bet. Love you. I wish I was there to give you not only a big hug, but not let go. I love you. I
And I'm
love
going to
you. I love
say,
you.
everybody on who has their camera on, go ahead and give her a nice big hug.
Yes, let's give Lisa a hug.
All right.
Hope you can feel it. I hope you can feel it.
Thank you
Love you,
for sharing,
Lisa.
Lisa.
You bet.
Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on. I have more people that have raised their hands just to let you know in reverse order. Deborah Bronner, Karen Owens, Deborah Grady, so the two Debs. But first, before we get anywhere further, we're going to go to Jody Falcon. So, Jody, go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share.
Hello, hello, hello. How are
Hello,
you?
Jody. How are you?
I am loved and lovable and loving.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, Lisa Marie. Oh, God bless you, Mama. I know what you're going through. Been there, done that. I just want to piggyback off of what Mary was mentioning. If she missed a couple of days of her ritual, I would say for myself, it's been a good 15 years that I have a morning ritual. And
Thank God. Thank God.
I am so, what is it, obsessive compulsive with it
Yeah.
that I have to do it in a specific order. Like
Understood.
I do my readings and then my passages in the Bible. And then I do my writings in my journals and blah, 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 blah. I have to tell you, if I get to my second cup of coffee and I haven't done it in order, I can't drink any more coffee.
I love having an ingrained ritual to the point where
Yeah,
where when you don't do it, here's Mary, something you can imagine.
yeah,
Imagine if you don't do your ritual, you won't be able to do anything else.
yes,
Well, then this is going to be messed up, and then this is going to be messed up. It's not, if I miss it, things get messed up. It's like, it's the other way around, right? Is if I don't do it,
yeah.
um,
It's
yeah,
like forgetting to brush my teeth. And what you just said happened to me this last July 14th. I had to get to the airport like super early in the morning for a flight to go to my aunt's 90th birthday.
yeah,
Okay, I don't want to carry the Bible. Okay, so I did that first, but that's not the routine.
right.
Okay.
Totally get it.
Did my other readings. Wait now, I have two journals. No, I don't want to take both I mean, that was one of the roughest mornings I've had all year.
Yeah, I totally resemble that remark. Yes,
Yeah,
I totally
so
resemble that remark.
what I didn't finish, like the two journal writings and one of my oracle cards that I work with. Okay. I pack those in my carry-on.
Yeah.
I buckle myself into my seat and I get out my oracle cards and I'm shuffling them. And the lady next to me is
Wow.
looking at me like, and I don't care. I have to get this done. That's
Yeah.
the way it feels for me after so long. It's like,
Yeah, it really, I love it too, where it becomes so much of you, where you're not embarrassed.
no.
It was raining big time here. So when it's raining and it's cold,
Ooh.
yeah, and it's cold, then what I do is I open up my bedroom window and that's where I do my prayers, right?
Oh, very good.
And we didn't have any sun because it was cloudy. And so when I'm down on my knees, it's hilarious sometimes because it's in the front of our house and we got this big window in our bedroom. So I put my hands up, and then as soon as I put my hands up, I look and there's people walking. And, and I'm like, yeah, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. There's just such a
No,
part of my mind that
I
is,
know.
"Oh, these people are going to think I'm crazy." And no, Robert, you've been here for, 22 years. Everyone in the neighborhood knows you do this.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm not the only one that's got a little OCD with the ritual.
No, no, no. I think it's very, very important to do it. And there has been times where I've sort of mixed it up a little bit to see if I could get, for me, I don't know if you're this way, but for me, um, I don't like routine though. I like my ritual, but
Yeah,
I don't like routine because it becomes boring for me. So I
yes,
gotta I gotta mix up my songs that I listen to, because it's really interesting when I first listened to them for a while. As soon as I turn them on, um, immediately it makes me, my eyes tear up and I just like feel.
right.
And then, we're human beings. So, all of a sudden, you turn on the song and it doesn't hit you the way it used to.
See, now that's what I have done different with the songs and the specific music that I have to listen to through the day.
Yeah.
I'm not into that OCD thing. I'm more into when I
Awe.
feel, yeah,
Yeah.
in
Awe.
awe of, oh, I have to hear that song now.
And,
Okay.
and do you guys realize it's like, I know that some of you that believe this way, it's like it's a silver lining in everything.
Yes.
When I really understood what I was doing to make my day the best, you know how everybody talks about algorithms are basically feeding you a bunch of junk and a bunch of, algorithms are bad. Well, for me, algorithms are awesome.
Yeah, because that's what we do with our ritual.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is if I'm
Yeah.
watching things, if I'm watching worship songs and stuff that really, really, resonate with me, it's like, YouTube's trying to keep me on there. So they're going like, "Hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this worship song in a crowd? Have you, YouTube now knows that I love watching, worship songs with, 60, 70,000 people.
Yeah.
It, it
Oh my
messes me
gosh.
up. It really, really, because there always seems to be a part in there, a number of times where the person that's leading the worship is led to just be quiet.
Oh, that's the best part.
Ah, and so,
Oh, yeah.
they become quiet, and now you just have it. Just as soon as can become quiet, it just seems like the audience just raises the volume.
Oh, oh, talk about resurrection. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
that's the only thing that, if I recognize that, because there's other things that I don't want to cut shortcuts on, you know what I mean, or change.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you, Jody. I love you. I love you. Thanks for sharing
Love
that.
you too, everybody.
Have a great night.
You too.
Jody, thank you very much. Just to piggyback a little bit on that, I noticed how ball players or sports people, they have their routine, their ritual that they usually do before they go up to bat, or before a game, or songs they listen to, that kind of thing, to get them into the mood. So it kind of reminds me of
Yeah,
that.
we're wearing the same pair of socks. You know what I mean?
Yes. Or
Oh my
I
God.
know in hockey they don't shave their beards as they get closer to the end of the season, because apparently that's good luck into the playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting that what is that superstition?
Yes,
Maybe
yes.
wouldn't
Yes.
it be? There's probably a lot of cool little thoughts behind that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh
But
my God. When I would, when I was a classical ballet dancer and I would be in competitions, I, w- I had many pairs of toe shoes, but there was one pair
that's
that
so
always guaranteed me first place.
that's cool. That's very
What?
cool.
Okay. Well, it never failed. But that whole
Congratulations. That's so
superstition
awesome.
thing, for sure.
Is it? Do you still have them?
No, unfortunately, they have fallen apart years ago. But over here in my door, um, God, a good year ago, I got this like inspiration. Google handmade toe shoes, because when I was a dancer, all my toe shoes were handmade either by Capezio or Pavlova. Well, those two companies have been out of business.
Ah,
So for
wow.
days, I searched for handmade toe shoes. Found a little company in Thailand. So they're hanging here on
Oh,
my
that's cool.
doorknob. And yes, I put them on every once in a while.
Good for you.
Just for shits and giggles.
Well, that both are good. Thank
All
you,
Oh,
Jody.
righty.
boys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jody.
Jody. Very good. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and keep moving forward. We've got Deborah Grady followed by Karen Owen. So, Deborah, go ahead. There you go. Open up and please share.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to this wonderful, wonderful group for letting me just air out my feelings that on here. I didn't know if this, I'm still real new, like to what's kosher and what's not. So I was like, I don't know if this is a proper place to put it, but I was just in that tight ball where something had to release, and I'm like, I got to release it somewhere. So thank you, and thank you for all your kind remarks and stuff. They really helped me a lot. But what helps me the most, and this goes back to day one when Robert helped me make my first YouTube, is there's something about when I'm in pain or when I'm that humor just helps me so much. And so,
Thank you.
Robert, right away, my very first video I made for you when I was doing, your book review, you don't probably remember it, but it was my very first time doing a live
No,
and
I
going on
remember.
camera, and I was so scared. Well, the whole first thing I filmed, there was no volume at all. I'm talking away and nobody can hear me. And I don't remember now exactly what Robert said, but it was so funny that what he said about he couldn't hear, nobody could hear me. But it was the funniest thing. I remember I almost peed my pants, and I was just like, you know, it really doesn't matter.
No.
It was like, so what? You didn't have any volume your first, but it was my first time, but
Sounding to me, I probably would have said something like, "Oh my God, you were on a roll."
Probably. I know it was something so simple and crazy, but it just like took all that, the bundle of
Yeah.
nerves inside away. And then like just now too. I mean, I'm sorry, sometimes my mind kind of goes in a not in a good direction, but when you said you're standing at the window like this, I'm like, where is Terry? I mean, you're like standing, I surrender, Terry, I surrender. Is that what your
She
neighbors are seeing?
well, I'm very Man, I get into my prayer. I just really, really do. So, and close to the end of my prayers, I always do the Lord's Prayer and the prayer of Jabez.
Oh yeah,
And
Oh, what's that?
huh?
yeah,
Oh, am I on? I'm
that's
sorry.
Oh, yeah. But it's but the prayer of Jabez, there's a part in at the very, very beginning. It's just Heavenly Father, please bless me this day indeed a lot. And I beat my chest like a gorilla. And so depending on where she's in the house, she says it always makes her just go, man, that guy is yeah. What's the prayer? If you look it up, Jody, you'll love it.
It's it's in the chat actually. I put it in
yeah.
there.
Put it in
Yeah,
there.
it's called the Prayer of Jabez, and man, it is short. You know, again, one of these people that I don't mind really quickly saying it. You know, it says, "Dear Heavenly Father, please bless me this day indeed a lot. Expand my territories. Um, see, because I'm not in it, it's like expand my territories. Keep your hands upon me and keep me from evil." So I will not hurt myself or others. And to my prayer, when I say, "Dear Heavenly Father," in this, I'm looking at the sky, then I do this. I go, "Dear Heavenly Father, bless me. Bless me this day indeed a lot.
Oh,
Expand my territories." And I really, 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 everything that I do, I just really get into it. And of course, it just, man, the vibration that it just raises on me. And so it's, yeah, when I'm worshiping and praising the Lord, I definitely want it to be. There's a song that I was telling Mary about that. If you guys seen where we were talking about, uh, come on, this guy that actually was doing part of the worship for Charlie Kirk's memorial, and I'd never had seen him before, and he sings the song "Hallelujah, Hallelujah," and the name of the song is "Gratitude." And so I searched for it,
Brandon
and
Taylor.
I was looking for him doing that memorial, but I found the video part of "Gratitude," and in his video, it is him in a cave, sort of like cave thing, and so his voice just echoes. And there's a part that he doesn't do in the worship, but at the end of it, he like starts beating on his chest, and he's telling his soul not to be shy. And I'm telling you, that lights me up. And he's like, "Come on, soul, don't be shy." He's like, come on, and praise the Lord. You know what I mean? And it's like he puts his guitar at his back. And I mean, there's not too many people that I've seen that, well, some of you, if you've been some really cool churches, I was gonna say crazy, but I said cool instead. But it's pretty wild to see how people get into praise and worship, and everybody's like, and I'm going like, hey, Craig sent me Craig sent me a video of the recent holiday that they just went through, and there's a bunch of guys in the front blowing horns, and you know what I mean. It's not being mean, Craig, and I know you won't believe that I am. It's like a couple of them sounded like bad karaoke.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
the horn is the sound. That's the whole point.
yeah,
Yeah.
but a person would probably feel like they weren't doing it or giving it justice for the ceremony that they're doing it. But guess what? Being bold is continuing to blow the horn. Just you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to be, your mind gets into you and is going, am I going to be knowing as the worst person that blew this trumpet during in the temple during this ceremony? So it's yeah. Thank you, Deborah. Anything else you'd like to say? Thank you, Craig.
Oh, Well, I'll let other people talk, but I do want to say one thing about like Jody was talking about the morning ritual. I've had a morning ritual forever, just my dad being military. I just automatically wake up at 5, but I give God, my talks are like, it's okay, we have 3 hours. I don't have anything until 8 o'clock. And so from
Right.
5 to 8, I leave it open. And if it's only 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. If it's the full 3 hours,
Yeah.
but like, and I love that you guys added to my morning ritual. So when it's, the weather's getting rainy and cold now, so I feel like I'm starting to nest, and I haven't been outside doing my morning ritual like I normally do because I feed the birds every morning when the sun comes out. They're there at 5 o'clock waiting for
Yeah.
me,
They know you're
and
coming. Yeah.
so I walk out and I ground. I walk in the grass. I, throw my flip-flops off and I walk around and talk to God in the grass. So you guys, last week I was like, come on, God, we're going to go hug a tree today. And I'm like, so I went in the corner of my yard and it's the most beautiful tree that I have, this cherry tree. The blossoms are beautiful in the spring. And I went over there and I was like, I can get my arms around this. I go, this is the perfect tree for me. It fits me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you for putting this tree here because I really wanted to hug a tree, but I was
I've
expecting to.
really I've had people send me a lot of private messages that just went, I've heard this thing about, walking bare feet or,
Oh
in
Lord.
the grass or, getting on your knees. And my knees are always bare, I'm always wearing like, some kind of shorts and I take my shirt off too. I don't know.
Yeah,
My relationship with my creator, my Lord and Savior, I'm not going to be shy about it at all.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel I constantly feel sad that other people are not that connected. I was
yeah.
telling my wife today that I watched a Charlie Kirk video. If any of you are ever interested, just send it to me, because I've been watching a bunch of Charlie Kirk stuff, and he gets right in the church, and he like goes off on them. You know what I mean? And it's like, he's got a whole series that I didn't know that Turning Point had. He had a company, and I don't know when he started it, but it's Turning Point Faith. So these are a lot of him speaking at churches, and he was really truly an evangelist because the stuff that he was saying on stage is not what I've ever heard any pastors talk about. And it's really in your face kind of stuff, so I was listening to that, and there was a part of the video where he said, now there are a group of people in this room that everything I'm explaining, you don't understand. And he says, I'll tell you why. You've been locked in, and you've been locked in for a long time. And it really humbled me because not only do I have that kind of relationship and I hear and I'm connected and he answers my questions and he speaks to me, but it really made me think of Mary right away because sometimes you guys hear me say, to you, it's like, hey, listen, you got to get in this ritual, you got to do this. And a lot of people have a tendency is when they don't do the ritual and they're trying to get it down, that I know I can speak for Mary on this, is when she doesn't do the stuff that she knows that she should, she blames herself. See what I mean?
Mhm.
And and she blames herself. It's like what the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I get up in the morning and understand that this is a very key thing? And when I was I'll just say, when I was a seeker, holy cow, when I was 18, and got out of prison, I was a seeker and I was going everywhere. And I remember how important it was for me to know that somebody was constantly trying to make sure that I didn't pray. No one wants to talk about the Darth Vader and the dark side and Satan or the devil. No one wants to talk about that stuff. And so that's what he was beating the church up about. Is going, listen, everybody wants to just talk about, so if you're more on the personal development side, you're doing your I am statements or you're doing this personal development stuff or you're writing a journal. But no one ever says that when you have thoughts like this stuff ain't working. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of this stuff. That's just not you. That's someone finding you very vulnerable at a point in your life, trying to get you so far away from your creator to get you to dump it and never ever deal with it ever again. And so that really got me because uh here's the best way to say it. Because I've been disciplined and obedient, he doesn't bother me. He's not in my circles. He's not talking to me. But when I was first learning to, when you go through, that's why when I say, when people say, well, how do you pray? And it's like that's the other voice. I got, it hit me just right now that what I replaced Satan or the devil with, because people don't want to talk about it, is Dino. So it's all these different voices going off in my head. And I can remember when I was first trying to get into that ritual that I forgot all about that. And so when I seen that, I wanted to send those videos. If you guys want them, please send me a private message. But I sent them to Mary right away, and Mary went, man, now I got it. Because I'll just say this, and we'll go to another subject here. Instead of beating yourself up, it sure is easier to blame somebody else for trying to wreck your day. And through my life, I've heard people go, "Oh, I'm really battling with spiritual warfare right now. Satan's really after me." And we already talked about when I was talking about words the other day. I'm going like, what the hell are you talking about? Should you just say that not only is Satan kicking your ass, but he's winning? It's like, so I've been pretty, I don't want to say immune from it, but very aware of it. Very aware when I can just use scriptures that I know and use the actual beliefs that I have to do a super smackdown. I will say this out loud because this is what I believe. Satan, devil, whatever, Darth Vader, Dino, whatever you want to call them, they love staying away from me because they're going to get their ass kicked really, really, really bad. And that's why I think people can't understand this, because what I just said to you and the rest of the group, does that sound delusional or what? When you really get people talking about this stuff, and that's why I relate so much to Sandy, because I have a lot of dear friends that are willing to expand their awareness. And so, when they're talking, it sounds delusional. So I guess I'm not getting off the subject. So I was talking to Terry today, right? And here was a quick question that I thought I could ask people. This is actually me knowing what I'm going to be talking about on Sunday, right? If you reached out to somebody and said, what is your favorite story? What do you mean? Was it a book? Is it a movie? Is it a series? What is your favorite story? And, I know some of the 4 or 5 top-selling fictional books of all time, like 54 million copies in 24 hours, was all the Harry Potter books. J.K. Rowling. You know what I mean? And so if you had someone that, my son was, well, I was going to say was, he'd probably get mad at me, but he was a big Game of Thrones person. Matt, he'd shut the whole family down, and tell us what was going on. And he loves reading, so he knew all the books, and read them all, as the series came out. And if you talk to people, it's just like talking to kids when they understand video games. They have this different language that sounds very, very delusional. So if you were asking somebody to help relate to, the crowd here, if someone said, what was your favorite story? And I said, Star Wars. And you go, I don't quite understand. What do you mean Star Wars? Well, believe it or not, you find out later in the movie that Darth Vader is Luke's father, but he left him and he went to another place to be a Jedi. And then we have Yoda. If you had someone explain to you Star Wars and they had never heard or known the story, you would sound like you needed to be committed. You guys get me? And so I was telling my wife this story because she knows Matt's like that. And they also, we always went to the grand opening or whatever of a new Harry Potter movie. And my sons were just really into this stuff, right? And so I said to her, when I said that to her in our walk this morning, she was going, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And I said, so I said, don't you find it interesting when people listen to that person and they're very passionate about the story and they don't understand the story, but the person is trying to share what's going on and what character came from where, because it's important to know the sort of like the family tree history of where, people came from and what kingdom and all this stuff, right? And she's going, yeah, I remember Matt would say that all the time. And I said, so if someone's delusional and getting into a story that they love, but then I'm delusional for telling people the stories about the people in the Bible and Jesus Christ. And you should have seen her face. She's going, whoa. I go, so when I'm telling stories about, Joseph and Israel and Moses, and I'm going through and seeing these stories, and guess what? That's what all the names were. It hit me today. You go through the beginning of Genesis and Exodus, and you're hearing name after name, and this person married this person, and then you got this son and this son and this son and this son and this son. People don't understand that they're sort of framing the hierarchy and the family tree of the person that's responsible until they go into the story. And that was a download that I got today because I was going, I'm not going to miss a word. And I can remember one time trying to read the Bible, the Old Testament, and I was going like, it's not there. I'm not getting it. Why did they just have to list, these 1,000 names, you know what I mean? And then it hit me. It hit me this morning in my prayer time this morning is that, listen, we're trying to give you the lay of the land, where the kingdoms were, where the land is, who is like each other's sons and daughters, and and now all of a sudden that I'm in Exodus and Moses, it's all of a sudden, it's talking about, leading the people of Israel out of Egypt, and it's like these people used to own everything. Sound familiar? Here they are getting kicked out of the land again. No, this is a different kind of, deal. But yeah, I think that's very, very important when people really sit there and think, why do I need to know this stuff, or why do I want to know this stuff? And I know Craig, I'm going to have fun as Craig watches me, chapter and book by book go through the Old Testament. Because he's been around me a long time, and I make these stories personal to me, and I retain the stories, and I, do my deal around the stories, And it's like I'm going, oh my God, this is what a priest, a rabbi, a bishop, all of them, they're storytellers. They're storytellers. And they're reading the story and they're telling the stories. Why? Because everyone's lazy and they won't read it.
That's right.
So they get to show up on Wednesday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, and the guy that actually read the stories numerous times, now he's reading it. It says something back to him because he's older and wiser. And it's like, listen, this is what I got out of this story. And everybody's going, okay, that's pretty good. Because I'm not reading it.
I don't know.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to go on a tangent. Did
No,
you?
it's great. I mean, I just love it. I wish there was more people like you that would take these stories. I mean, Joseph is that happens to be one of my number one favorite stories in the Bible, only because I can relate to him so much.
Right.
But the I've read it a million times. I've taught Sunday school. I've taught it, but the way you share it in modern, it's like that first entrepreneur I met that said, use modern day tools, but old with your old fashioned values and
Yeah.
whatever. His thing was that I always remembered, and I'm like, so you're taking this now and you're making it modern, but it's the same story, but it fits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? But it
Oh,
fits
totally. Because
now in
people,
modern, yeah. And
I
we,
don't, there probably would be a very small group of people that continue to rewatch Game of Thrones. All right. So what is everybody waiting for? The same kind of hero story,
right,
the hero's journey, and a
right,
different story and
right.
newer times.
And there's so many hero story in the Bible. There's so many of them.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
funny. I heard Charlie Kirk today. He was saying that there was a guy that when God told him to leave his mother and father because he was going on an adventure. And Craig, I don't know if you know the exact age, but it sounded like he was like either 50 or 80, that he'd been living with his parents this entire time. And he was going, hey, people make fun of kids in their basement still living with their mom and dad. He goes, in biblical times, it was like, yeah, you need to finally leave home at 85. But of course, here's, I don't want to get off track, but I'm like, I was going to ask AI today. It's like, why did people in those times live to 130?
Read the Genesis record. That is the best book I ever read that explained why they were giants and why, because the economy and the,
Boy, that's being connected to live to 130.
yeah. But it really explains that.
Well, thank you, Deborah. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
that's a great book. But thank you.
You bet. You bet. I'm sorry,
And
everyone, if I went too long. I'm sorry.
and I'm going to kind of piggyback on what Deborah and you were talking about. Every Saturday, the Torah, or as a lot of people know it, the Old Testament, is read aloud. Now, it's in Hebrew, but many of the people who don't understand Hebrew, they also have an English translation. So that's kind of alongside everything. So
Right.
what happens is that as they are reading that part of the Torah, then you see the translation and you get to read the Bible every Saturday, or there's a special holiday version too for the Jewish holidays. But the whole idea is that every year you reread the Bible from the beginning.
So if you
So
just showed up at the synagogue, they're reading it to you?
they're reading it to you. Yeah.
Wow.
Every
Wow.
Saturday. So we are now, let's see, we just did um Simchas Torah, which
Okay.
means that's a special Jewish celebration where you finish reading the Bible, the last chapters, and then you turn around and you open the Bible up and you read, in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. So we are now in
So the
Genesis.
holiday that Rosh Hashanah,
Rosh Hashanah is the calendar year, not
but
the
if that's the new year for the Jewish people, do they start off with the Genesis at that
not
time?
shortly after. Yes.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
Yeah, so right now we are in the book of Genesis. And when Rosh Hashanah comes around next year, we're going to be in exactly the same spot.
That is wild.
Yeah,
That is wild. It's like, hey, I never read the Bible. Well, listen, if you're a Jew, how old are you? I'm 35. All right, so you've been through it 35 times.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And there's the commentaries, the prophets and other things, the Psalms and that you read associated with the Old Testament.
Got it.
And then the rabbis, as you were describing, they take whatever. Usually, they take whatever the Bible portion is for that week, and they bring it into modern times so that you understand what was being said and done at that time.
Wow.
By today's standards. So it is, Deborah, like kind of what you were saying, the old bringing in the new and reverting back to the old because that was what was happened, but it's now how do we apply it by today's standards?
Thanks for saying that, Craig. Thank you. That makes you understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for indulging me.
No, not at all. Thank you.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's see. Let me do that. So we have, there we go. Sandy Baker's coming up. Karen, you are next. So go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can. How are you, Karen?
Hey, doing awesome. I'm going to give you my first movie at the top of the list here. My favorite movie is Dancing with Wolves because it talks about the humanity and how things developed with animals, with people, with war, and everything else. So it didn't take me long to come up with that, but Dancing with Wolves.
I have not watched that movie since I seen it.
Oh my goodness, you have to watch it again and just in the context of what we're saying about the Yodas, the feelings, the people, the whole population. It just okay, Craig's giving me a thumbs up.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. That I remember loving that show. I really remember really. It made me think of another one too, of course, which is pretty crazy, like Braveheart. You know what I mean? It's like, man, it's like
we're talking about our homeland where we live now. Most of us are USA, but that's what comes to mind because. And this follow on, you said, what is your favorite story? So my favorite story from a movie standpoint representing this was
thank you.
Yeah, Dancing with Wolves. But then the other story of it is my favorite story is my own family's immigration from Finland to the US and how it all played out because literally, I mean, I've been doing a lot of study on this stuff lately. I mean, I always do a lot of study, but you know, the only reason the Finns came to Minnesota or northern Michigan and then over to northernWisconsin over to Minnesota was because
Minnesota.
You know, I'm gonna go down to Duluth to do the Christmas shopping. I can say that because I truly have that Finnish accent from Minnesota.
Yeah, the Norwegians and the Germans and
the Finns,
in North Dakota. It's like South Dakota. You go from North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota. It's like a different planet. It really is.
But they said that, you know, reading about this stuff too, and there's also on talking about history and real genetics and everything else. I mean, I've had my DNA. My DNA is 100% Minnesota. 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 Yeah, it's all Finland. I mean, generations back. And there are really, really great YouTube channels that go into the actual history of how, you know, they said, well, the Finnish people, they're not even Anglo-Saxon. They're not this. They're, you know,
right.
This and that. But the actual DNA recent documentation, it's on YouTube, like we're Siberians. Hell, may as well just pack it up and go yuck up to Siberia somewhere.
Matt did a whole this is a joke, but it's not a joke.
No,
but Matt did his whole, you know, genealogy thing.
Yeah.
And what was hilarious is there's a big part of my background, Norwegian, just are from Scandinavia. They're Viking.
Oh,
You know,
Norwegian. Yes,
yeah.
you're
So
Viking. Woo, woo, woo.
yeah, so Matt was all excited that, well, I got Viking blood in me. And it was so funny. So for my birthday, he bought me one of those, right? And he says, "Dad, I want you to take it." And I said, I won't take it. And I go, "Why?" And I said, "They'll arrest my brothers."
So what Viking piece did he give you? Did he give you a horn, or did he give you a mug,
No,
or
no,
what
no,
did he give
no.
you?
He wanted me to take the test to see what mine was.
Oh,
my
okay.
my my DNA. And
Okay.
I told him, man, I do that, and my brothers are going back to prison.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, I remember that story there. Yeah. Hey, well, you mentioned that the other night. The Finnish people when they came over to the U.S. when when a brother died, yes, they married the brother. I mean, they kept
Yeah,
the family intact. That was just, I mean, that's like
it was.
1800. It was
I
a
actually
normal
heard,
thing.
years later, I actually heard that's really biblical. They come
It,
from the the Lutherans
yeah,
was all.
Lutheran. Yes, Lutheran.
I love how she says that. And yeah, if either a brother or a wife died, the other brothers and sisters would take care of them. It was like they just became part of the family. I mean, for
The,
real, and
the,
it's like,
the, the actual, heritage documents that I mean, it even goes back 50, 60 years on my dad's side, particularly, not so much on my mom's side, but she did a lot of stuff, but they were both Finnish. But on my dad's side, yeah, when they had that. Well, now it's this brother's married to this wife. The brother dies, and now he's married to the other one. Now you got a whole other list. Other stuff. They were farmers. They were
oh
farmers.
yeah.
They were taking care of things. They were lumbering. They were,
When I tell
yeah,
people about my cousin's stepbrothers, they my brother,
that
but
was good.
yeah, it's like people are like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, I have a stepdad that's an uncle, and if you really think about it, my biological mom is also my aunt."
Well, it's like, welcome to the family.
Karen, I love you. Thanks for bringing that stuff up.
Well, if anybody wants to check in on any of these series, it's on Nova, it's on PBS, and it's called Human. But they go back not just about the Scandinavians, but there are, since we've been able to, bring people up from the grounds and this and that, and they start checking DNA and this like that. Oh, my tooth and Viking tooth. Oh, good.
I love you, Karen.
Oh,
You're
love you
awesome.
guys.
Tell
Love
your
you
husband
guys.
hi. Tell your
I
husband hi
will.
for me. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Karen.
Oh
Oh,
my
these are
God, that
great
was
stories.
that was fun. And Faith, I agree with you. I see Faith posted in here. This is really cool.
Yeah. This is still breakthroughs.
It is. It is.
All right. Sandy Baker, your hand is up. Go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hello. Okay.
Hi,
First,
beautiful.
hi. So today kind of hit really hard for me because I really do believe in God, but I'm not connected and I have a really, really hard time connecting. And so, and a few reasons why, but I did go out and I bought a Bible. See how thick this damn
Oh
thing is?
my God.
But it's
Literally.
it's the NIV Bible and it's a study guide Bible because I want to understand what's going on. So before I go into why I have such a hard time with it, I happen to turn to this page and this part of the study guide. I don't even know what the hell it's called, a chapter, a book, I don't know, but it's Genesis
Doesn't matter.
anyway.
Doesn't matter.
And it says Satan's plan against us: doubt, discouragement, diversion, defeat, and delay. Doubt makes you question God's word and his goodness. Discouragement makes you look at your problems rather than at God. Diversion makes the wrong things seem attractive so that you will want them more than the right things. Defeat makes you feel like a failure so that you don't even try. And then delay makes you put off doing something so that it never gets done. So I just happened to
Wow.
turn to that page today.
Wow.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
but the reason why I have trouble, two main reasons. And one is if he's out there really looking for you, why did he take my mom away when I was a baby?
Okay.
And then the second thing is that why, when I was going to church when I was younger, would they have somebody dressed up as the devil come in, and if you forgot your Bible, he would just like attack your body. Like he would just like tickle you, and I was done. I'm done.
Right. Totally. And before I say this, um, you know, Terry was really connected until her father died. Okay. So I found out later that she said, Robert, I can't tell you how much I prayed, for my dad not to die. And so once he got a diagnosis, it wasn't very cancer, he died very, very quickly. And so that's her deal, just like you. It's like, listen, I never ever prayed harder in my life. My dad's no longer here. And there's a lot of people that when it comes to understanding, God, it's like, how does little kids catch cancer and
Mhm.
die? What did they do wrong? You know what I mean? Are they like atoning sins for, generations or whatever? So I can just share this part with you is that first of all, never, ever, ever forget that the relationship that you build with God is very unique to who you are. Because you not only were created uniquely different, but that personal conversation and connection you're going to get is not only directly with him, but it's also the answers to your questions. See, other
Okay.
people, well, is have you ever heard this phrase, Sandy? It's like, when I die, and if I'm going to heaven, my grandma used to say this all the time. She had 9 children, and before she died, she buried 7 of them.
Mm.
And so this is what she would say. She would say, man, I know I'm going to heaven. And when I get there, no mom should ever have to bury a child. I'm never, ever going to ever understand that. And so my understanding, that's why I said, now that you got the Bible, I'm proud of you. And now that you start going through it, that's something that you have to constantly say. I need to understand why you did this. I want to know you at the best. I want to be able to communicate with you. I want to be able to discern when I'm talking to other people of what's wrong with them. There's reasons why I'm even making an attempt again, but I need to know the answers to this. This is what's kept me from you, and I want to know why. And for me, why I never, I couldn't become religious, Sandy, because not only was I growing up in adopted homes, but every adopted home had a different church to go to. So, I mean, I've been in sweat tents with Native Indians in North Dakota, and I've been a Catholic, and I've been a Baptist, and I've been a Lutheran. It's like, and every time that I wanted to pour myself into that religion, the person that was at the pulpit, would say something that was just, it wouldn't resonate with me at all.
Mhm.
And so here's the problem that I had, not only abandonment, but people lying to me. Well, if I catch you lying to me, Sandy, I believe that you lied to me the entire time. I'm done with you. If you ask my sons, that's the only thing that will break me with you is don't lie to me. I don't care what the truth is, just don't lie to me. So going through in my seeking, I constantly felt like I was catching people lying to me. So now it's like, Well, apparently no one knows anything about this. So here's something that I can tell you is that there's a lot of religious people that will share stuff with you that couldn't be more from the truth. It's just straight out lies. And they do this fire and brimstone stuff that, Sandy, listen, if you don't do this, you're going to burn in hell. Well, it's also part of their tithing speech. And you need to donate money, or no, you need to tithe it, because if, so, God doesn't need money, but I need you to give your money to me so I can give it to God. It's like, are you serious? So this whole concept of all the stuff, and I've had great conversations with a lot of people with this. The reason for hell in the fire is that is the number one fear of all animals. All animals is fire. So that's why they want to explain it with fire, so they can scare the shit out of us, so they can control us. See? So it's like, if you're not going to do this right, then the devil's helping you. And now you're like, listen, because this is where I got messed up. If I really, really understand what God is, it's love. God is love, spirit, light. Just if you've never loved, you don't know the presence of God. It's just love. But then there's a lot of religions that say that God tests you and God wants you to do stuff, and if you don't do certain stuff. And so if God is controlling everything and he's got this master plan, then why did you kill the person that I love? And see, the more I understand now, the more I know they didn't. So it's like, it's still sad that you hear people die today and they go, well, Charlie Kirk. It's like, well, God called him home. It's like, what? It seemed to me like he was doing pretty good. He's got 2 young kids. You know what I mean? He's got a big thing. Why did he have to die? Well, God called him home. He's already done what he needed to do, and he gets to go to the next level. Bullshit. Here's why Kirk died. Maybe this will help you with your mom. I know it will. Satan got in the head of the kid that shot him. See what I mean? So then why God didn't protect him? Well, because God gave us free will. The one thing that he gave us is free will to choose. So when people are allowed to choose, and then you hear, oh my God, this young mom and got in a car wreck, and she was pregnant and had a toddler, and all 3 of them died. Then we hear that a person was drinking and driving and ran into him. Or a guy that doesn't understand English, has a semi truck and pulls in front of everybody and wipes out the whole family in a minivan. That's the stuff that's difficult to deal with.
Very.
It's just like, I don't understand. And here's where it gets worse. Not only on innocent children, where we know that there isn't anybody that understands why that happens. Then, like with your mother, and I don't know the details, but I know Terry, Terry just, after her father died, she just like, listen, I'm done with God. I don't want anything to do with him. And she's still there. She's still there. And so, it's like, it's all about this thing. Well, listen, you know what? Now that she's getting older, it's like, well, he died of cancer. Did he smoke? Oh yeah, he's been smoking since he was a teenager. You see what I mean? And it's like, it's still, damn it, I was praying, well, most people that know how to pray just understand that there's people making decisions and we don't know what those decisions are. And when I told you that story, if you were on there, where I talked about my mom and all of a sudden the doctor said, do you want to live?
Yeah.
See, that affected me very, very, very deep. because I didn't think my mom wanted to live. So hearing her say it was very, very interesting. It was super interesting because the way that she cried when she said she wanted to live. And I didn't know her really well, but she wasn't I don't know. I didn't look at her as being a happy person. She drank a lot and she kept getting in relationships along with my dad, and they would drink, and it's like she was always, getting her ass kicked by somebody. She just didn't have a very good life being an alcoholic and being around other alcoholics. And so I was going like, gee, she's probably had enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, so when she said that, I don't know if it was in that moment or she had thought about it once, because like, I've never been, thank God, diagnosed with a diagnosis where you got, you're probably not going to be here in 3 months. That probably would change a lot of people's thoughts about what was going to happen next. And so there's a lot of teaching that I know that's incorrect, where people really, really, truly believe that God is doing stuff to people. You understand?
I understand. I guess my thing is that I understand that it happened for a reason. I understand that it happened to me because I'm supposed to go on and do something greater, but what the fuck is it?
Yeah. Yeah. All I can tell you is from a personal testimony is that most of the time, this will sound probably really crazy to a lot of you because I brought it up the other night. When I look at everything that God has done in my life, and I know that I imagined it. I know that I'm imagining it and I'm creating my own reality. And I know that I'm using the powers that are already here to make that happen. But it's like I'm not bending God's will for my life because he's not a discerner of persons. He put this thing together, and he's not going to bless me more than he's going to bless you, Sandy. He's just not going to. And then if you really understand certain scriptures in the Bible, it says, it'd be harder for a rich man to get into heaven. So
I don't
so
understand. I don't understand any scriptures in the Bible. I have never read one page in the Bible.
Well, not think. I know that as you do it, it's going to be a personal relationship that you have. And here's the thing that you got to really get is that there's nobody on the planet that's going to have that same relationship. There's going to
Okay.
be things that there's going to be things every area of your life that's just going to become crystal clear. Ah, like the passage that you started out with.
Yeah, it was just weird. I just turned right to that page.
So, so don't you find it very, very interesting? Again, I don't know what happened to your mom, but don't you find it really, really interesting that apparently the story, everyone's going to laugh at me because I'm not a theologian in any way, shape, or form. But basically, there was an archangel that watched God say things and then they came to pass. So let there be light. Let there be this. Let there be trees. And so he gets the great idea that, wow, why don't I just be God? And he's pretty powerful because according to the Bible, he got like a third of the angels to go, hey, so it's like, if this really is going to be it, let's do it. And so when he made that attempt, not only did he betray God, but that's what God did, is threw him to this planet. And so in certain scriptures, it says that he's the prince of the earth. He's God of this planet. So how do we have heaven on earth? Is the connection with God. That's when we can renew our mind and live in heaven on this earth. But if you're not I'm sorry I'm jumping around because I just talked about this with my wife Terry today because I'm trying to share with her what I'm reading and doing. And so it'd be like if you and I sit down and you never ever seen checkers and never seen a checkerboard. Do you know where to put the checkers?
No.
That's what that book's going to do for you.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
But now that I showed you how to set up the checkers and I gave you the basics of what checkers is, and then all of a sudden I get to one of my checkers to the very last roll of your side. And I go, queen me, king me. And you're like, what is that? Oh, well, now this part gets to go everywhere and get the rest of your pieces. You left that out. When you told me how to play checkers, you left that out. Well, I forgot about it. You sort of learn checkers as you're playing the game. No, it sounds to me like you're cheating.
Right.
You see what I mean? You're deceiving me. You're not giving me all the information. And that's unfortunately the way it goes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that you can ask me that other people have asked me in my life, and I just got to go, listen, you know who I am. Is it okay if I tell you that I don't know? I don't know. I wish I could just say, this is why it happened. So that with your mom and the future for you is just getting to, all right, so I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to read through the Bible. I'm going to come to my own conclusions. And it's amazing because as I've been doing it and done this, not using the Bible, I used the New Testament when I was 18 years old, but I cherry picked. Honestly, I went through and I seen all these promises that Jesus said that I had. And I went, I'm believing them all. and there's my delusion, right, Sandy?
Mhm.
There's my delusion of reading that New Testament and went, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that. All I remember is that I heard that the writing in red was things that Jesus said. And I went, all right, I'm believing in that. I'm believing in that. I'm believing in that. I'm believing in that. And I had no other reason not to believe it.
Okay. I don't have any red in mine. I just looked.
Oh, well, because it's probably because it's a study guide.
Yeah.
You know, it'll drive into like the simple stories. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Of Jesus, you know, trying to teach disciples, average people, you know, going, how in the hell do you do this? One of my favorite stories of all time is, you know, according to the story, all the disciples are in a fishing boat and Jesus is sleeping. And then a storm hits. And the storm gets so bad that every one of the disciples are going, we're going to die. We're going to die. And one of them decided to wake up Jesus. He's like, listen. And he's like mad. You know, it's like, I'm not telling you exactly what it is. I'm doing my imagination of the story, right? And it's like, he gets up and he's like, what's the problem? And they're going, the storm. And he just goes, storm, be still. It goes still. And they're all looking at him and he goes, you could do that. Why did you have to wake me up? I'm a man just like you. Why didn't you do that? Ye of little faith. So he's like saying, you guys need to work on yourself. You're getting me to keep chasing away the storms in your life. When are you going to believe that you have enough power through faith to do the same thing that I did? So there's stories like that I'm going like, you know, and even when Jesus died, he said, listen, you guys got more stuff on this planet than I had. I pray that you do more than I. So all the miracles that he gets credit for He's basically telling his disciples and everybody that reads the Bible, Sandy, man, you think you're powerful now? Get me connected. When I get you connected, I'll show you power, massive power. See now, did you notice right now that God had me say that to you? I at the beginning when you asked me the difficult question, I was sort of like, going through analytical things in my life. And then I just said, help me. And he's like, tell her I got the power she's looking for.
Okay. So I thank you very much. So you actually hit it right on the head what happened to my mom. She was in a car accident and the car that hit them was drinking and driving.
Man, when he uses me like that, I can't even tell you, Sandy, how many times that's happened to me.
Yep. I was a year and a half old, and then my grandma mom adopted me when I was 6. So I was a year and a half old when my mom was in a car accident. She was in a coma for 48 days before they had to pull the plug. And then 6 months before her, no, 6 months after my mom was in the car accident, her sister, my Aunt Christy, was in another car accident, and my Aunt Christy died along with my cousin Dick. So my mom had two daughters and a nephew that she had to bury within 6 months. And then my grandma and my grandpa were adopting me, and then my grandpa died of cancer when I was 6, so he never got to adopt me. Yeah. So all of my aunts and uncles became my sisters and my brother, and so I'm just as redneck as you are.
And you know how much I love you for that? And so ever since you and I've gotten to know each other a little bit, can you understand why I've never judged you?
Mm-hmm.
Never. One, I'm still figuring it out. And you and I, sis, you and I are going to figure this out together. Man, I mean, that was wonderful.
I got a headache.
It's
Thank
like,
you.
how does he know how my mom died? How does he know?
I was like, how does he know this?
I didn't. You having the boldness and the courage to buy that Bible, the answers are there.
Okay.
And the more that you dig into it, the more that you're going to realize just how messed up the rest of the world is. They're all, I can't say all because that's not true, but a majority of them are just liars. They're just liars. They're using manipulation. They're using every known tactic in the world because they know that people don't know and they're scared. And they're, it's like this whole concept of, you'll constantly see people that, the world looked at as being these big people that understand, God. And then you find out that they're sleeping with every wife in the congregation and they're stealing money and embezzling money. And it's like, man, what's that phrase? I know Craig would probably know it, but there was a person that said, that the more powerful you get corrupt, but it's like it's a statement of, power breeds contempt. I mean, corruption, but corruption makes you powerful. I know I'm not saying it correctly, but it's like the more powerful you get and the bigger group that you get, the more that the adversary, can use you and takes advantage of you and tempts you, especially if you think it's all you actually have all these people showing up and they're going, wow, the way they're showing up to my church is because I'm the pastor, I'm the speaker. And it's like, man, as fast as you can be powerful, as fast as you can get it taken away.
Robert, are you thinking power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely?
Yes.
Lord Acton, that's who said that.
But you see, a lot of the writers knew this. I remember the first name, I think it's Mark Twain. Definitely not getting us the subject, but he said, do you ever know what the word politics is? He says, if you break it apart, poly means more than one, and ticks is a blood sucking a blood sucking insect. And I'm going like, why would it be called politics? And he's going, look it up. And he's going, it's a bunch of people, and ticks are scavengers that they have to lock on and suck blood out of other things to stay alive. And I'm going like, all of a sudden you hear that and you go, wow, these people are deceiving us right in front of our face. They don't even hide it anymore. What's going on, Sandy?
Nothing. I got a headache now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're okay.
No, you get this emotional thing. I got it too. It made me lightheaded. That's why I was like, oh man. But yeah, that was the force, whatever you want to call it, Sandy. That was there, that was present. So the more you dig in, the more you'll feel that.
All right. I got my little study guide because I don't want to get too overwhelmed. So I got my little study guide and read a little chapter every single day. So
Well, I love you. And when Mary told me that she got a Bible, I don't know if you guys heard this. I don't know what's happening right now, but Bible sales is up 47%. Any app that has to do with the Bible has gone up 79%.
oh,
So Charlie Kirk and the stuff that's happening is making people go, I still don't know if I want to get locked into a church or something, but I just believe and feel. I believe and feel that there's something more out there for me, and I need to understand that for me. I don't need anyone telling me what it is, how I need to react, how I need to feel. I'll figure this out on my own. So that I can be a person that you ever want to ask any questions, we can fill it out together.
okay. Got you. Thank you so much.
I love you, Sandy. Wow, that was,
Thank you.
oh my Lord. I'm going to have difficulty time sleeping. I'll change my saying right now. I'll sleep like a baby.
Yes.
I'll pee my pants and cry all night. No, I'm kidding.
No, don't do that.
Because I was thinking of Ezra. If I'm sleeping like a baby,
Right.
I'm going to
And peeing your
sleep for
pants all night.
I'm going to sleep for about an hour, and then I'm going to have a bunch of accidents.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love you, Sandy.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you. Oh man, big hug.
Wow. Sandy, thank you so much. Such great talk. Great topics that we're covering tonight. Wow.
I'm like freaking out, man.
Robert, are you up for one more?
Oh, yes, of
Okay.
course.
One more tonight, and then we'll move on. Melody Ryba, go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share.
Hey guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are all so amazing. Sandy, you were sharing. You're so beautiful. I mean, I have never seen, like physically seen what you look like. However, I know you are one of the most beautiful people. And as you were sharing, Sandy, it was just like raise your hand, and I have no idea why. When you're just really have that feeling that
Yeah.
just do it, and it's like, but I don't even know what's in my head. Just raise your hand. So I don't know what's.
Well, then get out of your head and come from your heart. What did you feel?
Well, that's why I'm here. Is Sandy? There are things, so many things, tragic things, but I think some of the worst things that we go through is in life. I think one of the hardest things, most challenging things is losing a parent, a partner, your husband or a child. And
Melody's lost 2 partners.
yeah, I've lost
Damn.
2 babies. I've had 2 miscarriages. I've lost, um, you know, my dad, my grandma, my uncle, all of those, and to be there for that. And it does kind of mess with your head. Like, this is such an amazing person. Why did they have to go?
Yeah.
Like, why them? And we think of, well, they have children and they have people that love them, and it's hard to process that. I don't know if I'll ever get through processing any of it. Any of it. And my last loss was 3 years ago when we lost Doug.
Yeah.
We just passed 3 years. And
Crazy.
when I talk to God, and I talk to God just like I'm talking to you here. I'm not I talk to him because I'm talking to him all throughout the day. So I
Constant
don't,
conversation. Yeah.
I it's not necessarily getting on my knees and that time. I do that too, but the Bible says pray without ceasing.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I do. If we're past an accident on the side of the road, I immediately pray for those people and their families. And I think that's just an ongoing conversation we have with well, for me, it's God. For whoever, everybody else, it's whatever. But I look back on all of those situations, guys, and my talks with God, I would I wouldn't even know how I was going to get through like the next 2 hours
Right.
because you just don't know how you're going to do it. But my talks with God were so um, real that at one point I just said, "Are you testing me? Like, is this a test?" And now that I look back on a lot of this, it really was. How much do you trust me? How much faith do you have in me? It was all for me to be able to grow and strengthen and grow in my trust, grow in my faith, or not have it at all. Right? So we all have that when we go through something, whatever it is, we all have that choice. Are we going to believe that, we have help, we have
Yeah.
guidance, we have his protection and all of that? Or are we going to not believe? And uh, I'll tell you, I understand how Terry feels,
Totally.
literally. So, yeah, I could have just said, you know, turn my back on God.
I'll tell you this.
That's
This
so
is going to
easy to
sound.
do at some points.
This is going to sound horrible to some of you guys. What I'm about ready to say, but me getting taken away from my mother and father made me go through a lot of awful stuff. But watching what people go through when they have to have a parent die, I didn't have to go through that. I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just going like, so I looked at Terry's mom and dad as my mom and dad. You know what I mean? Well, now yeah, that would make her my sister, so I got to maybe get off that subject. But I'm having a lot of fun with my sister. It's like, uh, I'm telling you, humor at the right time is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Yeah,
So
it
as
really
soon as I
is.
said that, I just went, I don't know why I'm saying that. But then I hear you giggle and I see everyone smiling on the panel, and I'm going like,
Aw.
yeah. So because it was feeling heavy. It was yeah.
Right. Well, Robert, the whole thing with that conversation you just had with Sandy is I don't know if anybody else felt it, but it was just like goosebump city here. It was this call has been so magical,
This is
you
what I
know.
was scared. You guys, this is what I feared. I'm no longer fearing. Unlimited wisdom for me. The whisper 24 years ago. It's like, Robert, you need to be bold in telling people how I work in your life. It's not about money. It's not about marketing. It's not about advertising. It's like, trust me. And I was going like, I'm gonna say some stuff people are gonna go like, what is happening right now? And when I've trusted that, Craig's been around me a long time. Melody's been around me a long time. And when people ask me questions, and then I do like I did with Sandy, and Craig and I have gotten off calls, and he's like, what was that? You know what I mean? And it was like, hey, that's when you're connected. That's when you're hardwired. And it's not about you. It's me being there for you guys. Does that make
We
sense?
we
And
appreciate that,
and the
Robert.
more that you surrender, and the more that you allow it to come through you, and you just be a vessel. It's funny because I keep bringing up Sandy's name a lot because she's on my heart and my head a lot. And it's because when you talk about doing stuff in the metaphysical world, there's where people get messed up. They're like, well, listen, I've said it before. It's like, you're having problems, Robert? Yeah, great. I'll do a Reiki session for you. I go, you're doing and living in the same city as I do. And see, it's their ability to trust in that entity that gives them the power. They need to just believe and have faith that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Well, how is that separate than what I've been talking about? So that's when people that have had a lot of religious indoctrination, see, I did say
Hmm.
it out loud. They're like, woo! It's like, what is this guy? A mind reader? He's the devil, you know what I mean? It's like,
No, you're disconnected.
yeah, it's but people that are really growing up, um, yeah, growing up and being indoctrinated and stuff that's not true. It's like when Lisa started out tonight, it was I immediately heard that I got something better for you. I got something bigger and better for you. It doesn't stop it from hurting right now.
Right.
It's us going, okay, okay, I want more. Okay, I want more, give me more. Where is this going? And usually when you do that, you know, you're going to remember a time that this happened, and then you're going to look at wow, is it really true that we got 250 check-ins? You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden you felt this thing which is supposed to close you up, and it just opens you up to a bigger thing.
Right.
Because you don't know that you
Right.
don't know. You guys would have never gotten those chickens not thinking that there was going to be cold winters. Sometimes you sit there and go, why didn't we see this coming? That was pretty stupid. And then that's when the adversary beats us up, and Dino comes out and goes, God, why are you so stupid? Why did you get these chickens and not prepare for winter? Oh, now I'm the guy. I'm the person again that messed this up. No, no. But thank you, Melody. Yeah. I mean, I look at Melody and I just like go, man, she just keeps winning. that whole concept of victory after victory after victory after victory after
Yeah.
victory. It's like every time someone tells me, well, there's a lot of bad things that happen in my life, and I go, man, I need to get you on the phone with Melody so then you can say you're sorry.
No.
But Melody, man, we've had a lot of these conversations, haven't we?
We have. We have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I know Sandy felt that. It's like great.
I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. So proud of everybody in this group, in this community. And Sandy, I can't tell you how my heart is jumping up and down that you bought that Bible and you're going to be reading it, because that's what I pray for people in my life. So
Thank you.
awesome.
I'm
I
not
love
gonna
you guys.
lie. It really does scare me to try to read this thing.
And every
How
time,
do you
eh,
eat an elephant, right?
yeah. And Sandy, Sandy, I'm telling you right now, the words that I said to you, even if you have to go back and just clip it out of this video, it's like you should look at that and just go, wow, now I'm going to get to understand just how powerful I am.
See, now I need you to go follow me on Sora too, so that I can do cameos using you.
Okay. Send me a link. I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it.
Okay. I
Okay.
get it.
I guess I got to open up that app on my phone. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. All right.
Thank
Let's
you
go.
again so much.
Oh, I
I
love
love
you
you
too.
all. Bye-bye.
I love your videos. Lisa Marie's little videos too are just like, just fill me up. They just fill me up. So, Sandy, I love yours, man. They just keep getting gooder and gooder. Okay, Craig, close us out.
Wow. What a great night.
Well,
Yeah, I agree, Robert. Big chills and just, yeah, big hugs to everybody. I think there we go. There we go. Thank you all so very much. What a powerful breakthrough session we had tonight. Okay, I'm just going to go straight into them. The announcements, because that's all I can think of at this point. So tomorrow, Daily Wisdom at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Of course, every Monday and Tuesday Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Saturday is Ask Us Anything at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Sunday is Master's Mind at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And Robert already kind of hinted, gave us a teaser at what he's got planned for us for Sunday. So make sure to join us then.
unless the director of the program changes the subject like he did last week. I'm just gonna lean in. I'm just
There
gonna
you go.
just keep leaning in.
There you go. And then, of course, on Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern, recess. So we got that coming up too. So a lot of great things that happen every day here with Unlimited Wisdom. And thank you for being a part of it. We love and appreciate you. There are a couple of things in the chat that if you'd want to save them, go ahead in the meeting chat, click the three dots in the meeting chat, then click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer once we finish today. And got to give shout outs to Mary Valchik, Lisa Marie Cook, Jody Falcon, Deborah Grady, Karen Owens, Sandy Baker, Melody Ryban, of course, Matt Hollis for being our executive producer, Robert Hollis for being our incredible guide, our GPS to success, our dear friend and mentor. Love you.
Love
you
guys.
All.
Love you.
And
Love you.
I'm going to go ahead and unmute so that we can all say so long. Have a fantabulous Thursday.
Good night.
Thank you
Good
so
night. Love
much.
you guys.
Thank you.
Love you. Love you. Love you.
What
See
a
you,
wonderful
Sarah.
This
time.
was the
See you, Karen.
best.
See
Thank
you,
you.
Deborah.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Hey,
I gotta go to bed now.
I could see clicking with you, man. I could feel it with you.
It was amazing. I loved it.
Oh, thank you, Melody. Thank you, Lisa
Thank
Marie,
you.
Bye,
Deb.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Michael.
Robert. I am so proud of you, Robert.
Oh, thank you, God. Thank you,
Bye,
Melody.
everyone.
All right, love you guys. Thank you, Craig.
Love you too.
Love you. Love you.